let's get started. Today is the fourth week of the class. So if you look into the syllabus, we have a few things we need to wrap up for the first section of module, which is like what do you want to do for your project. Right? So the class is 15 weeks. So we spend the first 25% of the class about coming up with ideas. How do you think of good ideas? How do you mix and match idea? Last week we talked about a good idea is a secret idea. The ideas that people still overlook or people haven't caught on it yet. Right? Caught on it means that there's new technologies, but people still busy living their daily life. And for the one who proactively go out and try to understand, they will have a short moment of gap that they have competitive advantages, right? And now you know, right? AI that you research have quite a new tools that people who are not using it. It's like you compete in like a distant catching race that you have to go from here to Chonburi to Pattaya. And most of the people still walking, but then you have like a bicycle or motorcycle to go to Pattaya already, right? People still keep walking, but then you're riding a car and go to Pattaya instead, right? So these ideas of technologies are the one that young guys like you, young guy and young girls like you will have advantages over older guys like me, or older guys like someone who own like a big company, but have a lot of luggage, a lot of baggage that they have to carry through without adopting technologies, right? So today I will finish the startup ideas content, and I will share about different ideas in the past that many group, whether bachelor degree, master degree, even PhD, propose it to me, and I feel they are actually good ideas, but they just an idea in the class and then finish. I would like someone to take over it and try to continue developing more idea and create something out into the world now. So that I want to show you at least like 7-8 ideas and with some critique, right? Maybe it can enhance, and next week your group need to submit what idea you want to do, okay? I will talk about Silicon Valley. We are on episode 5 and 6. Not much happening, and they're building up some stories, right, about TechCrunch, disrupt competition, pitching competition, right? They talk about what's the algorithm, what's the value proposition, and is it okay for someone who don't have a vision for their company yet? Okay, right? So answer that, and then there will be one group presenting about Cal AI. Which group? Not coming in yet. Okay, only Bailey coming, right? So before the break, we will cover and we will discuss about potential opportunity. Right? People your age, not even my generation, using it now with some practice, able to create some wealth, create some tools, and then become so popular, not just development, but how do his team able to get the user, get the paying customer, right? So that we will listen from the YouTube videos, okay? I noticed that the YouTube 2 videos responses that already passed the deadline, only 20-something students submit, which a bit make me nervous. Right? Let me see. So this is an individual work, and you can see. You can see only 24 students submit. only 24 students for YouTube 2 reflection answer, right? And let's see from YouTube 1. Right, YouTube 1, 30. Maybe some student drop off. Maybe you totally forget. Make sure. Actually, let's get in who's like missing. So at least you or your friend can tell you that I forget ชัดพงษ์ธนภัทรพิมนาราลิลดาขวัญชนกชลดาพังงาright? So you can see that. So these are the one who missing, did not submit. Raphael, okay, Rachano, okay. Now once we grade it, I will go through just one pass. Either I or Thomas will go through just one pass. And once we finish. We like not gonna look at it again. We context switch, get the idea out. We move on with our life. So there's no like regrade, late submission or anything, right? But okay, now make sure you pay some attention onto this. It's not a big chunk, but it can add up, right? We have 15% of a total grade adding up from this part. Okay. Okay. Anything from Thomas' side, right?
Overall, I told a couple of students already. Overall, great work overall across the board from the last week's submissions, not this week's submissions. I have not graded those yet. Last week's submissions, there were the week 2. Great work all around. Great response to the questions, well thought out.
Just a few that just feel like super AI, right?
One copy pasted an AI answer.
That's
and
not cool, right?
But that's it. But overall, though, great work. I gave one person extra credit on the YouTube reflection answer. Siri Prapa, sorry.
Siri Papa, where are you? Siri Papa. Okay, not here. And should we give extra credit? Maybe not.
She got extra credit for a great answer.
Okay.
And occasionally I will award extra credit, and I'll shout out to the professor that this is great work. I want to award extra credit. And
I will look into that. Great work means spending some time to reflect, to think, right? And the best person who benefit most from this is just yourself, right? Basically, you've been through 18, 19 years of your life. So it's time for you to like reflect what your strength, what your weaknesses, and opportunity that you can explore, right? So okay, now good. Let's move on. All right. Okay, actually. So episode 5 and 6, right? This is from the past class. Actually, I have one extra, but you don't need to answer. But I just want to put it there because I want to share it to you that this whole joking with Chewy and then like such a rude picture that Chewy create with like on the garage is look pretty 18 plus, and everyone is 18 plus here, okay, right? But I just want to point out on this part that this was reflected in the real life history, right? And then I want to show the story is Facebook when it started 2005, they have a new office, right? And then Mark Zuckerberg back then have some money from the investor. They want to make the atmosphere lively and fun. So he actually hired someone to paint the office, right? Like paint the office to make it lively, and then he become who he is. He asked some semi-famous artists to paint the office, and the painter want to charge him 20,000, 30,000, yeah, 1 million baht for the painting of the big office, right? But Mark Zuckerberg say like, I actually want to save some cash and I want you to hope and then be the supportive of Facebook as well. So he convinced the painter, the artist, to receive in Facebook shares instead of getting $30,000 or $40,000, right? The guy, the artist, yeah, similar size with Chewy, crazy enough, and want to believe in this company too. So he took Facebook stock instead, right? And that $30,000, $40,000 of stock become many millions, and he's like become famous as the guy who take the risk and get the payout with Facebook when they IPO. Right? So let me share and show to you this crazy artist guy. Right? Artist yes, David Cho, yes. Crazy. Graffiti art David Cho. Right? So David Cho painted the first Facebook office in Palo Alto in 2005. Hired by Sean Parker, Cho accept company stock instead of $60,000 cash payment for his mural, which turned into roughly 200 million fortune when the company went IPO. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? So that's the Silicon Valley series. I guess this is what he painted, right, in the back. Right. The very first, right? Yeah. Whether it is $200 million, right? 7 billion Thai baht, 7,000 ล้าน ผมว่า how crazy is that when you say it, right? But that's a pretty outlandish stories and very one in a million, one in many millions that it happened, right? So this is the guy, David Cho. And yeah, I think he have some like podcast come to like guest show after that IPO. He basically retired for his life and then no need to work anymore, right? But yeah, to talk, yeah, again. So in order for him to able to hope and bet with Facebook. Now behind the scene, he have to like establish himself. He has to be strong financially already, right? And then like, okay, for this one company, I can not get it 60,000 and then bet with it, right? Imagine if he have a sick parent, he have like a young kid to go to school, he will not be able to like take the risk so easily, right? So one thing for an entrepreneur, would like to share to you guys again. One thing for an entrepreneur is that you need to reduce the luggage that you carry as much as possible when you go through life, right? As you grow older, there will be things that you are expected to carry, right? First job finished, maybe you want your own condominium. First job finished, you want to buy a new car. Right? So the car comes with the expenses. Some people are lucky that the parents support them. Some of it want to do it on your own. So you start to accumulate debt. You have to pay monthly by monthly. And now when you want to quit and start doing something, then it's pretty hard now because every month you have to pay 45,000 baht. You have to pay 50,000 baht. Right? And when you carry it, cannot make the decision to quit and start and work without getting paid so easily, right? My story, right? So I try to wear Chulalongkorn professor hat, and I also try to wear entrepreneur hat. right? A lot of sacrifice, a lot of opportunity cost. I show to you, week 2, the picture of my son, right, 1 year old. A lot of my friends, their son is 8 years old already, right? Their son is like about to go to junior high school, Mathayom already, because they have a family, they have kids when they are like 30 or 29 or 28. Meanwhile, I still running around, try to hiring people, try to fundraise, try to talk to investor, right? So for guys, that's another part between the dynamic between female and male. For male, we have a lot, I would say physically, we don't really have a condition for the procreation, have a kid, right? But for female, sometimes you have to think hard and plan it too, because if you spend something on running a business, try to push it, then the physically body for the age of having kids, getting pregnant, it's narrowing it down as a female, right? So that's something that becomes even harder for female for running a startup. Okay, so now some stories alluded to the Silicon Valley with the actual real life that happened. Okay, should Pied Piper stay in TechCrunch startup battlefield? Why and why not? Right? What did your group say? Mint, right? Mint. Why or why not? They should, because. Okay, very nice. What do you think? The first one and the second one, should Pied Piper stay in TechCrunch battlefield? Why or why not? What your group say? Yes, and why?
So I think it's like a good chance for them to get the exposure out there. Despite in the earlier episode, there is some conflict between the team. But despite that, I think the reward is going to be the exposure.
Okay, very nice. Your name? What's your name? Mew. Your name?
Max.
Max. Nemo.
Yes.
First time here. Okay, welcome Nemo. First time. Your name is in the class. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Good. Right. I agree. Should Pied Piper stay in the TechCrunch startup battlefield? I agree. They should stay to get exposure, to tell the investor or make the name for themselves, right? And not just the reason. If you want coverage, the things that will be beneficial for you is that other people see you, and it's become easier, a little easier for you to recruit people in, right? So that's something that as a benefit. How about the disadvantages, the con of they should not stay? What would be the cost for them? What would be the cost for them? Whoa, not him. Yeah, well, yes.
They could possibly embarrass themselves if they're not really prepared. Their goals are not fully working yet. And by showing themselves for the first time and having a bad image to them forever, it's not really worth it.
Okay, good. Very nice comment, Tim. Hey, Mo. Yeah, yes. So you have a shot, and if it's super embarrassing, it's like, why is this joker running around? Right? You're not gonna lose track. Another point that I want to mention on this competition and stuff is that you feel like you're doing some work like exposure, but in the end, you are not really working on your company. It's like building the company, setting up the process, right? So I've been through that events about 10 years ago, and then I was lost again. I've been to competition after competition, and somehow I feel I'm working, but in the end, the product's still bad. I still don't have a process to get to customers, right? So I like to share and show with you, right? Let's see. Okay, right. So that's with me and earn some money here, right? 2013, right? With the Ministry of ICT, นาวากาศเอกอนุดิตนาคอนครับ back then he was the ministry. I went to a competition called AIS the startup, right? AIS the telco, and we won nationally. Right? We get 600,000 baht, right? Spent like 4 or 5 months, and then we were the winning team that hoped to able to use AIS to spring and then like push it forward, right? But in the end, I realized, man, with all the time that I put, yes, we have some spike, some boost for the user, but then once the user touches, similar to what Bo was saying, the user said the product is not right yet. They visit for one time and then like no one returning again, right? So that was a big black hole chunk of time that sucked it from me and my team. And back then, my team only had 3 people: me, another partner, and my former student from Chulalongkorn study at MIS. Right? We are very happy. We thought that we made it. Similar to Richard, we made it. We're gonna be rich, but it's just the starting of the entrepreneurship journey. Yeah. Okay, right. Good point for 2 sides. I want to skip the value proposition. I think it's clear. You algorithm compression, you can apply it to somewhere else. Right? I want to ask the third question: is it a problem that the team members are unclear about the vision for the company? Why or why not? Okay, Magdalene, what do you think? What's your group think?
Well, I would say it's a problem. It goes to the root of what you're doing as an entrepreneur when you're creating a product or a service. If you don't have a clear vision or mission long term, I mean, I don't think the product is viable.
Okay.
What you really want will be viable.
Okay, nice. Li Ying, similar ideas with Madeline?
Yeah.
Problem.
Our team also believe that if the team still doesn't treat the company as like an actual company, so the business is not gonna success.
Okay, good. Okay, one lady in front of Li Ying. I haven't met you before. What's your name?
It's my first time here.
And are you registered for a class?
No.
And okay. Huh? She's my friend. She's your friend. Okay. From when are you at CBS? Okay.
She's an exchange.
Exchange student. Okay. Alright. Anytime you wanna have like a new person, you have to come and talk to me if you're not registered for the class. Okay. Maybe the first session after that we have to talk. Okay. Alright. Let me ask. Not Nemo, but very similar name. Leo, no. Pablo, no. Ole, no. What's your name? Taro, yes, very close. Taro, what does your team talk about this? Right? Is it unclear, have an issue if your company, you don't have a vision for your product or company?
We agree that it's an issue with the long-term growth and also with the scaling, for example, it will not be possible.
Okay, very nice. I think it's resembling ideas that most or all the team is unclear, right? It's unclear. It's a problem if you're unclear. But I want to share this. These are very specific from the perspective of business school students. From you guys, you can think and say, yes, it's unclear. And from a business guy, yes, it's unclear. But for the engineering guy, for the scientist, for the doctor, pharmaceutical in the field, actually they have a different viewpoint from what you have. Yeah. Myself, for example, when I try to run these companies, I'm like, okay, I focus on the product. There's so much stuff to focus, think about how to build the product. And then you don't have enough time to think about this company vision. For me, someone building a product, it's like, okay, let's get it working. You don't have to think like long time ahead. You don't even know whether people gonna use it or not. Do you see my point? Like the perspective from the other side, right? So I want to share that was the compliment, right? The share as a business, as a CEO or COO, that one day if you want to join force with people with different background, that's the part that you can contribute. Because as someone building thing or coming from non-business degree, we will not think about this. I did not think about this. I just want like a lot of user. How can we make something people want? But vision-wise, no. Right? And the other direction I would say like, is it a problem? Actually, not so much in the early beginning. Now, I believe that Instagram or Facebook, when they start, right, hacking, building stuff, I don't think he ever see not 5 years ahead, let alone 10 years or 20 years, that Facebook will become what it is today. He just built something that he want to use, fun, people sticking it, and keep building on top of it. Right? So, from another angle that I want to share to you is that, no, actually, it's not that problematic. Right? When do you have to come up with the vision? If you just hanging it with your friend, people keep using it, you have some monetization, running ads, selling affiliates, maybe no need, right? But when you start asking for someone else's company, when you start being on the interview channel, people will want to ask you, so what are you going to see in the next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? Like what Zach talk in the YouTube channel, in the YouTube video, like, hey Zach, what do you see in the future for Cal AI? Right? Then you have to start thinking about, you have a luxurious to think about that. When there's money, people use it. You have imagine that the thing that you build will not die so easily. So you start thinking about vision, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that's some discussion that I would like to post to you guys for this week, and then I will review it with Thomas on your actual response. What else? Now, key terms. Signaling risk. What is it? Signaling risk. Let me hear it from, not you. You. What's your name? China. Is it Luna? Luna, what do you think is signaling risk here?
A risk that or like sends like a negative signal.
What's the example in the series of signaling risk?
Like just looking unprepared. At, or like in the series where like Pepper just looks unprepared at TechCrunch.
No, that's a strong signaling risk. Yeah. What would be a stronger signaling risk of like just not being unprepared? Sherry, thank you. Luna, no problem.
Like maybe in one of the episodes when Jared started pointing out that there were like a communication problem inside the team where like they keep doing overlapping work won't be like.
No, but that's Jared, and inside the team is not signaling out to the public, right? We are talking about like signaling out to the public. Now, when Ehrlich got fired or when Ehrlich resigned, that's a signaling risk, right? Someone like big shareholder decide to leave, right? Even though there are so much information that the internal team knows, but outside the public, no one knows, right? No one knows what's the actually detail in there, okay? Right, so that's, okay, signaling risk to the outside, to the investors, to other people outside the team, right? Value proposition, what can you give to the user, right? What value, right? And then you will have to think for your own project, what is the value proposition, right? In 2026, you still scale back to what does human being want, right? What angle, a small angle that you can offer, right? Scaling. Now, scaling. What's scaling? What's scaling? Dino, what's scaling that you understand?
For like a startup, it's I guess the transition from like having an MVP that is like it shows like a level of product market fit, and you just try to make it mass market as possible.
But from MVP and what does scaling mean, and how do you? We will go through a concept in the beginning of do things that don't scale, right? But before we go there, I want to talk about scaling. Scaling is Pete. Pete, what do you understand about scaling?
Scaling. Achieving a more mass market in your own field.
No, it's like growing. That's growing, but scaling have some slight different. Okay, on the right path of just growing, achieving on your somewhere. What's scaling? What's your name?
Marja.
Marja.
Yeah, it's basically growing a revenue faster than the cost.
Growing a revenue faster than the cost. Not quite, but along the same line, right? Rafael.
I think being able to serve a big clientele, like for example, when you have a huge demand but not enough offer, like you don't have enough employees, it's not automated, it's all done manually, you cannot scale because you cannot serve everyone.
Okay, yeah, wait, this is important. Scaling is growing very, very fast, but at the same time, keep your expenses or operations small, or not grow as fast as the thing that you serve the customer. Some business able to scale, some business is not scalable. What the business that is able to scale, anything technology-wise able to scale, right? ChatGPT, right? Claude, right? Gemini. One user use it, or a million users use it, right? Google still have the similar engineering team to build it, right? A famous haircut. Bo, what's the name of your normal haircut shop, barber shop that you go? Juno. Juno is a favorite barber shop for Bo, right? Let's say everyone want to go to Juno. Now they cannot accept, even though we are waiting to pay the barber, like please cut my hair. But it's not scalable unless that person can clone himself or herself like Naruto, right? And no one can clone themselves as Naruto. Chicken bunsen, something, right? So some restaurant not so easy to scale because MK, they have to do it. They have to buy the land. They need to have enough staff on the similar side as any chain, right? Franchise, that is scalable, right? Franchise mean like I have a playbook, and if you want to do what we want to do, you have to have your own team, but you buy it from me, so they pay the original company, but the original company give the playbook for each individual to set up their own shop. Right? That's scalable. Right? Technologies, right, is scalable. Artists, song, music, scalable. Movie, scalable because they have an outlet of technology for you to broadcast to serve a lot of people. Okay. Piper will be scaling, right, through mobile app, through web, internet, right? So that's scaling. Okay. Stock option and vesting come at the same time. We will talk about the stock option is you are not the original team. You take less risk, but you still join a startup. You will not have a founder shares, but the company dedicated something in addition to your salary to give it to you as a compensation, right? You will take a lower salary, but hopefully your stock option, meaning that you need to buy it, but maybe right now the stock is 10 baht per share, right? They grant you 10,000 shares, right? So you have worth of another 100,000 in stock. You hope that you work for 2 years, that stock of 10 baht per share will become 50 baht, right? So you need to buy 10 baht, but then you can sell it to someone else in 50 baht, profiting 40 baht. That's stock option, right? Vesting. What is vesting? Actually, what is vesting? Anyone know? Vesting.
It's like an incremental like release of your stock options.
Very nice. And why would a company want to do it?
Because so that like the employee will be invested in who like wanted to go.
Mm.
So that they could move.
Okay, invested. But there's another key point that I myself make a mistake, is that if you promise something, you gradually release as they put in the time and work, right? That makes sense. The mistake is you promise it, and on day one, people think that they entitled for that 10,000 share, 20,000 share, right? And somehow shit happen in life, things change, people change. You get accepted to prestige university. Your family call you back to work in the family, right? And then you need to quit, but then the company already give you the share without the vesting. Then the people in the company will feel very taken advantage and no motivation. Like, why is there a free rider in my company that they have a share but not working anymore, right? So that's concept of vesting. Okay, now Dinesh, Gilfoy, Jared, if they have stock option, they need to work and then slowly getting it, right? Now, the vesting term standard is 4 years, right? Shorter one, 3 years, longer term, 5 years, 10 years, depend on the CEO, say what's the term is. And if you work for 1 year out of 4 years, you get 25%. 2 years out of 4 years, you get 50%, prorated as the time move on. All right, so that's some key terms from Silicon Valley. Any thought, any questions about the 2 episodes you watched? Let me ask you, who already finished not just first season, but second season now? No, anyone? Because some of the students in my formal class like, oh, it's fun, so I keep like watching it for the entire season, and then like tell my parents and my friends that actually I'm doing work from the class. Which, yeah, of course, you're doing work for the class, right? But sometimes when you super fast binge watching it for like 3 seasons in a row, when you're coming back and talking to the point here, you kind of like forget what's the point that you take away, right? So be careful on that as well, okay? All right, so that's Silicon Valley's. Okay. What else? I want to talk about ideas. Maybe before the break, I will finish this one first, and then right after the break, the team will present on the 17 years Cal AI. Last time we discussed about what's the secret. I think I see, right? We talked about key core idea from Peter Thiel, right? Tell me something that true that almost nobody agree with you on, right? Last week I want to give this as a class assignment, but since I'm not finished, I will give it this week too. So, individual, each one of you, right? Try to think, try to talk to AI, right? And then get maybe 5 sentences, 1 paragraph. What you think that nobody agree with you on now today, right? Yeah, what are the secret? What's the hidden in plain sight, right? That are some opportunities, right? Let me think. I can think of 2 or 3. But I already give you one example from the Dr. Raksa, right? So this will be your attempt to think and answer this question. Now, don't be afraid, Chan. So if I know it, I will not study in this class, I will go doing it myself, right? True, right? You can quit and then try to do it yourself too, right? But I want you to deeply think and try your best on this, right? So the quality of the answer, not whether it's right or wrong, okay? So this will be assignment for today class, on this lecture. Okay, we talked about what are the real problem and not the right problem. We talked about the ideas of startup should be a whale, right? Deep but narrow, right? Just a small number that people want. Okay, and we know that if it's a lot of people really want, that's not gonna be our opportunity. It will be some big corporate that already tackling it now, right? Some problem that overlooked by big corporate. That's your sweet spot. We talk about self, what you can build, what you can get, right? Thinking about the future. We talked already that future is already here. It's just unevenly distributed in the different location, right? Different location, maybe in the movies, right? Maybe traveling and see different things, right? So that's what the future is, right? And then you start thinking, what can you do afterward, right? Actually, let me share to you. Teaching video. Now, let's see. Okay, here, right? Self-driving car, right? Some student maybe exchange it in the US, right? But there are some of the city that is so futuristic and then try it out for the one who living there, right? I get a chance to visit San Francisco 2 years ago, right? December 2024, and I was driving after the self-driving car in San Francisco, right? So interesting that they use Jaguar as a self-driving car. Right. So that was me renting a car, following Waymo, which is no driver in there. Right. You have like all the sensors. Right. So that's Waymo, and then I am calling Waymo.
เป็นครั้งแรกที่ฉันที่อยู่น่าจะมารู้สึกว่าเวทมนต์มากจะติดตามนะ
Okay, I'm sitting now.
Start right.
Hello, Waymo. As they get going, just give us 1 minute to cover up the new driving space. This experience may feel futuristic.
Yes.
You need to buckle up and proceed with safety. So keep your seatbelt fastened.
Cool. Interesting. Look come in.
Here. Right, there's like a video recording. Right, okay, we show it quickly. Yeah, so this is the system that on the dashboard that render it to see from all the sensor around the car.
จากกลัวเลยเป็นแท็กซี่นะครับ
Right, they use Jaguar as a taxi here. Right, so that's as I want to share to you guys. Right, the future is already here. It's just unevenly distributed. what lesson can we learn, right? People who, again, able to touch, experience it, right? Not just touch and experience, and then you start thinking like, okay, let's say these things is already here, right? What would it impact to someone else, to like a whole community? Like what would go away, and what would be new opportunity for you, right? You see, you try it, Ajahn, like Waymo is like a little bit more expensive than Uber. Actually, it's a bit more expensive. Maybe we just call Uber, right? That's such a short-sighted, like just pay extra and see what is it like to experience, right? So that's as an entrepreneur or entrepreneur student, I want you to try hand-on as a new thing. Like be actively try on new things, even though need to pay a little bit extra, but trying it out because that's the toys that you can start imagine what you can build, okay? And then you have what, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months ahead of someone who are not just waiting for the new, waiting for the mass to tell you this is here now, you should know about it, right? Okay, right? That's key point. Living on the edge, living in the future, right? Traveling around, come to the university, not July, different university in the lab, right? What are things that people are experiment? Yeah. How to get startup idea? Okay, similarly now, noticing what are missing, right? What we can build. Give yourself some time. School, concept of school in getting ideas is actually a program say that don't learn entrepreneurship in school. I agree just 50% of it. Yeah. I agree 50% of it because if it's a normal entrepreneurship with theory class, yeah, don't take entrepreneurship. But if it's my class, yes, take it. Because I even want to take on my class if I'm like your guy age, right? Now, super biased, but true, right? So, what he mentioned is spending the time, as we know that university have a lower cost, lower opportunity cost, right? It's not so risky if you try doing something, and then you have a ticket of being a student. Ticket of Chulalongkorn student is very nice and open door for many doors in like corporate. People look at you and they feel like, oh, okay, student they want to do, right? So it's help open doors. Once you graduated, like your ticket expired, right? So that's something to bear in mind and try yourself, right? Right now, software, AI, many people start with software, right? Nowadays, you can have YouTube, you can have like all the media as the leverage part for you, right? But software is good because you require just yourself, computer and the internet. You don't need manufacturing, right? If your family somehow don't really have a manufacturing space, right? You can start it by yourself, right? So that was a good starting point. Now, before Elon Musk do satellite, before he do Tesla driving car, solar city, right? He did it from software. What is the software that really make him have enough cash to do something else, right?
I don't know if it was software, but wasn't he involved with PayPal?
PayPal, right? Actually, in the beginning, he named his company X.com. Right? And back then, I think people think about X related to like X videos or something, right? So after fighting or merging with Peter Thiel, they use it PayPal instead. But I know Elon Musk still have inside of him. He still want to use X. So once he become like super gazillionaire now, he decided to change Twitter name to X.com. Right, that's coming back again with his super big boss swing around because he have enough cash, right? But he start with PayPal, software, transfer the money, right? That's nothing, require very few capital, just time and computer and the internet, okay? Learn to build things in college. Hopefully in a few session, I will have a session to build stuff together, right? I will show you some tools. I think I show you like asksajan.com already that I showed to you, like that was built even though I don't really do coding, but I asked the AI to help build it, right? Maybe I can give you some thinking framework how to build digital product here, and let's try out on building the tool, okay? Just build things, not to build startup, right? This is premature optimization, right? Try to capture some value, provide some service, rather than thinking like, oh, we have to make money. That's premature optimization, okay? Competition, right? Competition is one thing that kill many motivation. Oh, someone else already do it, right? So there's no room for us. Very, very untrue. Never too late for good ideas. And when there's a competition, somehow you feel a little confident in your idea because someone else decide to do it as well just before you, right? Better to have a good idea with some competition than have no one doing an idea. When I did Dr. Raksa, the telemedicine one, right? There are actually another two competitors. One called Dr. A to C, another one called Shivi Life, right? And then it's also a motivation for us to push hard and compete, right? But it's good to know that someone else try to do it at the same time. What framework that you should have in your mind if there are competition? And if it's not just other startup competition, but a big company competition, Central want to do it as well. Maybe then you start for 3-4 months. Central decided to do, or 7-Eleven decided to do, right? Or Com7 decided to do. That one, a little bit scary. So what framework should you have in your mind that should you keep going with this big competition enter, or you should just give up and, rather than sinking your time, move on to something else? What would be a good key deciding factor if there are big guys try to compete with you? Ideas? Madeline?
If you look at like the theory of red oceans and blue oceans, you can always say that red oceans are just filled with big companies that are cartelling each other. Within red oceans, you can find those purple oceans that are a new market within an already saturated market. And I think for many successful entrepreneurs right now that are like in the Cal AI app, is that it's an extremely saturated market, but he found the one blue ocean you can find within the red ocean.
Good. So try to find a blue ocean, right? I think you start to touch on it, but how do you crystallize this idea that make you have some confidence, right? So Madeline feel that you should keep going if you feel that it's a blue ocean. But what does it mean? Blue ocean for you, but you can see that the big guy will think it's a blue ocean for you, and then he, rather than come up with a small boat that we have, they put the submarine in, like a cruise line in to take that ocean out from you. Ball.
I feel like you should stay if you feel like your ideas are better and you can do it better than them. But if not, if you feel like they are doing better than you, then maybe you should do that.
Very good. This is a key important idea that Bo mentioned. You should stay. If and only if you know that there are something that you're different than the big corporate that are doing. And how do you know? How do you know? You study them. You listen to what they announce in the press release. Right? The big guy will always announce in the press release what they think, what their plan. Right? You listen, you evaluate. You judge the product, maybe the top management say one thing, but the execution is sucky, like I do it even though I don't believe in it, right? There are many layers for the big corporate that have a weak point. The thing that they have is money, people, and reputation. Seem like a lot of things, right? They don't have speed. They don't have the motivation, right? They don't have a flexibility to change the course. So what Bo mentioned is right on. Only if you have your thesis, you believe that it's truly my blue ocean and someone else cannot see. Yeah. This one I learned it from a few case studies that I read that competition in China. Right? Meituan, Dianping, right? Food delivery become the big guy. Right? But in the beginning, Wang Xing, the guy who started Meituan, it just have no reputation comparing to Baidu or Alibaba. And they also compete in the deliveries of food. But Meituan know that Baidu and Alibaba keep burning money and losing money. Meituan does not. Meituan try to integrate and does not do huge advertisement. And then they bet that this big guy, even though they have money, they will keep burning while Meituan actually making some small money and surviving. Right? So that was an interesting case that they have their own thesis, how they're gonna win. How is it different than other guy? Then you keep going. And if you analyze yourself and then you cannot find anything different, then okay, stop, do something else. You cannot compete with such a short period of a head time. Okay. Okay, now that's ideas of competition. Okay. Filter. Now, filter is something that blocking you, preventing you from thinking. What's filter? There's a unsexy filter. Easier. Unsexy filter. Doing something unsexy. People feel like it's boring. People feel it's, like they see as day to day as there's no glamour, there's no excitement in there. But sometimes opportunity is there because no one just overlook. Example, doing taxes is a headache and it's annoying. You guys do not need to do taxes yet, but your parents definitely can attest to this. Every year, new year, right now, many people need to start filing taxes, and it's annoying that the government say you can deduct this, you can chop ช่วยชาติ chop for the country, you can have this buying of the fund, IMF, SSF, so you buy it and then you forget, right? It's unsexy, it's boring, right? One company do not agree. They say like, I want to be the tax service through the app, right? Now I will dedicate it myself to learn about all the rules that the government give it out. We will have someone doing it, and then we will integrate that new information to the app so that people can keep using it and do not need to manually do it. Like the system will alert and recommend. Right? That's a tech that served and been running it successfully for quite a few years now. Right? I know the founder, right? Ajahn Yuttana, actually his name is Mickey as well. Right? That's tax. Another unsexy filter is accounting. Anyone major in accounting? Yeah, still doing debit, credit. Not not a lot. Accounting, when you run for entrepreneurship, it's like such a bitter medicine that you have to swallow every end of the month. You need to detail out all the receipt you buy. This is from your company. This is for yourself. You detail it out. You're putting it in its accounting system. Right? Your company is still small. You don't have an accountant that you pay 20,000 baht. Right? So you ask someone to do as a freelancer. You pay 3,000-4,000, but you have to provide all the receipts, all the expenses, and give it to them each month. Very unsexy, very annoying, very tedious. I hate it, right? Some company know this and know that there's a lot of SME have this problem. So they start a company called Flow Account, right? The accounting online system that you can doing it and then have some guideline, have some suggestion, right? Minimum pay, I pay 2,000-3,000 baht per year, but they have hundreds of thousands SME using them, right? Now, this guy come first, and then you have like peak accounting. A few companies want to compete in this. Where somewhat successful, printing it money as well, right? Try to expand more, right? So that was something that unsexy, but people decide to tackle and create it into something something viable and some real demand that someone wants. Okay, now that's Flow Account. Another one, Slap brightness, Slap filter. What is it? Slap brightness or filter is mean like people believe it's such a hard problem. I don't want to do it. I don't want, there's no way for me to tackle this and solve this. So people ignore, right? This was some, I guess, extreme example, right? Rockets to Mars, right? You only know one company doing it, SpaceX, right? You know that SpaceX is so profitable, but why there's no competitor? Because it's so damn hard, right? Right? Cashless, cash, cancel kill, right? These are extreme difficult. So someone who dedicated themselves, okay, maybe right, one day success, there's no competitor, and then you own the market. Right? But let's not go into such an extreme, right? Let's not such an extreme and then tangible from Thailand, like a robot for caring for a senior. That one still sound hard, right? But someone decided to tackle it. Entrepreneur that I know. Where is it? So this is Dinsaw, right? The company in Pattanakan, right? I know the entrepreneur. He is alumni of CBS, study marketing, right? He doesn't know engineering. He doesn't know how to do hardware, but he dreamed it and tried to put team together to create this robotic to help with. At first, he just want to have like a robot, similar to what we discussed earlier. No vision, just really want Thailand to have some robotic company. He kind of go again. He doesn't want Thailand to keep selling durian and rice and mango anymore. Like, how can we have some cool stuff, right? So he started out with making a robot to serve. Let me see. No, now in the hospital now. You see, maybe in some brochure. this is an entrepreneur. Okay, his company is in Pathanakan area near Tainichi. Okay, now he focused on hospital and healthcare, right? But in the past, he started off. He started off selling it to MK restaurant as like a gimmick for serving to the children, right? He's find his way, right? Along the way, okay, how can we, if we don't receive funding, how can we survive and pay the salaries? So need to find a way to make money, right? And then he, with his network, he's trying to find to survive. He able to link with the CEO of MK, which is Chulalongkorn alumni, right? And then say, hey, share the vision, share the story, and then close with the sale. Can you buy like 10 robots from me? Each one 1 million baht. Okay, now 10 million baht for us is big money, but for MK restaurant, it's like peanut, right? So, okay, sure, right? Support the young entrepreneur, have a gimmick, right? But this robot will not substitute the staff. It's actually make more work for the staff because it's very MVP style, right? It's still walk through with the line on the floor, right? It cannot auto navigate. This is 10 years ago, but he found a way to bring cash of 10 million to support his team. Okay. Now, very good story. He have a TED talk, which I will Thomas jot down. I will post it in the my course view as well. Mr. Cherlerporn, but it's in Thai. Let me see.
How do you set it up? Let's get into that right now.
So you're just posting a video of my course bill for?
No, I will post. I want to post this the entrepreneur for the actually. Yeah, so it's 10 years ago, but it's in Thai, right? So for optional video, this is his first version, right? And that's find his own way to create it, and until now. You go to Chulalongkorn Hospital, right? And then you start seeing robot to serving as a triage, as a primary care. No need to use the nurse anymore, right? Hard, but when he start to able to make some money, there's no competition. It's hard to create a competition on that, right? So that's some filter, and from his own word, he said, a lot of people say it's hard. A lot of people say it's impossible, right? He even export his robot to Japan. No, not export durian to Japan. Not export silk road to Japan, but export robot to Japan. That seems very contradictory for Japan. It's like a land of technology. How can a developing country like Thailand send a robot to Japan? But he used that story as a gimmick to sell it to Thai people and say, hey, this robot arrived in Japan already. You have to trust us, right? Yeah, his own word, he said, people say it's very scary. It's like a lot of ghosts there. You have a lot of ghosts. Don't go. Stay in this area. Stay in the in Thai called Sai Sin, the sacred line. Right? You don't go out, right? But for the one who brave enough, take out and start shining light and try to see if actually it's scary or not scary, right? Or it's just the chef filter that blind you, that don't want you to do, right? He says it's not that scary. There's some opportunity in Japan that can receive a robot from Thailand as well, right? So that's his story. Yeah, right here. Yeah, I don't have it, right? Let's see from this slide, right? Many generations from 2009 until realize it, find opportunity and tackle, capture on the healthcare, right? A lot of iteration. So it's not that bad or it's not too scary like, oh, I don't know what to do. Sometimes take a long time to come up with the market that you keep trying and then find the spot that have opportunity for you. Okay. Alright. So that's shape filter, right? That's shape filter, right? So be aware of this filter. Be aware of this unsexy or difficult filter that prevent your mind from exploring. Okay. Recipe, right? Sometimes you just want to find some systematic way, right? Systematic way. How do you do, right? Be the sort or type of person who think of something, try to find it, and if you cannot find it, try to build it and use it for yourself, right? Get idea from field you're expert on, whatever field you want, fashion, shopping, right? Movies, right? Finance, investment, sport, pets, right? What do you like? Expert on. Talk to anyone you can share the ideas. Right? I share my ideas. Right? Being consultant of people with the problem. Right? Always stay young. Right? And be garbage collector mean like, okay, anything I want to listen. Try to go sort through the comments and see if there are some nugget of information to have. Right? Alright, sometimes ideas come organically, right? It's okay too, right? Ideas come in many different forms. Okay, I want to share you, right? For Facebook, right? I happen to live during the time that Facebook started, like 20 years ago. So I see how the rise and successful people my age able to build a company, right? They start off just for one university in Harvard, 2003, right? Only for the student. How do you force that only the student can do back then? How do you force that only the student can use? Right? That's another smart idea that Mark Zuckerberg pull and attract. How do you do it such that it also scaling? Not like anyone who sign up need to show the Jula ID card. That's hard, right? You don't have like 2,000 sign up. You cannot go through 2,000 cards. How do you do? ID. How do you make sure it's a real ID? Okay. The student sitting here, how do you show that you are Jula Slongkorn student to the computer, not to me? Number. But I can fake your number. Right?
But you can fake it.
Ryan?
Use like your university email address and get.
That's correct. Use university email address, right? And then you sign up with your university email address, and you cannot use it right away. You can need to click on the link that you own that email, right? University email address for Thailand it's .ac.th, right? And this is not a working pen. In the US, right? Belly in the US, what is your school email address? Ending with what? .edu, right? So that's back then when it started. Only someone who start and using the email .edu can only sign up. Not .com, not .org, not Gmail, not Live, not Yahoo, nothing. You cannot sign up. Only .edu. So that's the whale, right? Designed purposefully for university student. Okay, right? Whale, very designed. In contrast to Hi-Fi, in contrast to MySpace, or anyone coming before Facebook, anyone can sign up. they have a big user group, but it's like, yeah, you know, like what Jan and Arnold say, a lot of people kind of like you, but very small number of people who really love you. You want to go that far first. Okay. Okay, so now they can make it themselves, right? He learned how to program, right? He noticed that his previous project also successful. People want to see other people. People want some online tools rather than meeting it in person, right? Build it during school time, that actually during final exam time that he doesn't want to study, he keep building it, he release it during exam period. Back then there's MySpace and hi-fi competition. Not so much filter, I think it's a sexy one, so he doesn't match this, right? Recipe, we saw the person who built things, right? And it grow organically, right? So that's some example that some of these apply to Facebook, some of it not so apply to Facebook. Now, but I want to map how do you use it, think it, and then start to analyze your ideas or your team idea, your group idea. Yeah. All right. So, any questions? Okay. If no question, I want to say one last thing, and then I will send it to you so that you have. Yeah. So right now, the task, there's one task of talking to me one-on-one with AI, right? So I created a website now, right? Called achan.co, yeah, achan.co, right? You have your email and password to log in into this, right? So I created a small assignment called I don't know, yeah, for enrollment or something, right? You just write back your name so that I know that you're still in the class, and then in the comment I will send the password to you to log into this system, right? The first time, right, that I use this, so I will only ask you for this first week as a bonus testing the system. You will only chat based on the first content of our first session. Okay? Now, so let's see. There will be like some learning videos. I think I will have like 3 insights for you to discover. Okay? So you will chit chat. I dump my brain on this topic to you already. You answering this question, guiding question, why do you want to study entrepreneurship? Everything has a price. What do you think is the price for entrepreneurship? And then you chit chat with it, and once the idea unlocked, right, the insight unlocked, all of them, then you finish with the talking of this, with this AI, with me, avatar AI, right? Now, so that is the things I want you to do before we finish the class, right? So I have this idea. Log in for Dr. Kevin AI system, right? What you did is just respond that you are here, and then, because, let me show to you, why do I need you to respond? Because there's no way for me to like write you back. Let's see. Right, now let's say chat home. Now let's say Arno, very nice, right? So I will put your password in here for Arno, right? But I cannot do it to Belly yet because there's nothing to write. And you have to like submit first so that I can reply with the password for you. Okay. So, and for this class, just want to make sure that you can log into the system. And that's it. Yeah. And maybe tomorrow you can start talking to me on the platform. Yeah. Alright, so yep, now so then let's have a break now, and coming back, a group will present on the Cal AI SAC entrepreneurship journey. Right, coming back in 15 minutes.